I have no idea why, but I keep seeing people big rat in China so many times. Every time I scroll on TikTok, I'm just seeing white or black random foreigners or people who are not even in China. This glazed China thing, how the infrastructure is fucking amazing, the tall buildings, the lights, the robots. Even though the robots are just terrible in China, they keep glazing and glazing, and they spew out the same rhetoric. They never criticize the Chinese government. They never say what could be better. They never go out of the Chinese city. They never explore. They never talk to the people about do you actually like the Chinese Communist Party? Do you respect them? They don't do anything. They just spew out nonsense. The tall infrastructure buildings, the how big the airport is. Even though China has been going through crazy ass floods, so many people have died. It's just ridiculous how people just glaze China for no reason. I don't understand. Yes, and a lot of foreigners have been leaving China, especially since 2020. 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 6 years ago, there was a reason for people to go to China. China was going on the up. China was like expanding in some way. They were being more open on the face value, but since 2020, China exposed itself as an authoritarian dictatorship. Exposed itself as that. They were locking people in their apartments, for a whole month or two, putting babies in cages. They were killing off dogs and cats because they thought that was where the disease came from, even though the disease came from a lab, which was so close to a dog and meat, so close to a fish market. Why was there a Chinese lab so close to a fish market? I expect there will be no disease. And then when 20 came around, they said, "Oh, the lockdown is over. COVID is finished." People's mental health was finished because what they just went through, what the Chinese government just put them through. They erased all of what happened in COVID. Whenever you write COVID, it'll get erased. You can't say certain words. You can't write certain words or get flagged and get reported. You can't criticize that one thing about China. And if you criticize one thing about China online or in public, you get arrested, you get purged, you get destroyed. That's a fact. It's happened many times. China is not a free country. China is not somewhere where you can live comfortably. You have to be on your tiptoes for real. You have to be on your tiptoes. And since 2020, foreigners have been leaving Japan, and it's been showing. All these random foreigners who came in after 2020, like in 2024, 2025, those foreigners have been paid to stay and live in China. And live in China in the most comfortable places. Majority of the Chinese people who live in China can't live in those comfortable places. Can't live in the high-rise buildings. Can't have good money because Chinese people who work average Chinese jobs in China and get Chinese money, they get paid terribly, and it's the truth. Stop glazing China for real, bro.